Welcome to the ASTRALX Deep Dive, illuminating your path. I'm Lunaria Selene, your intuitive guide.
I'm Solarian Zephyr, your cosmic strategist.
We bridge celestial wisdom,
Unlock your modern path.
discover guiding starlight insights.
Explore powerful cosmic energies.
How do planetary transits shape your story today? Okay, so let's dive in. For this deep dive, we're really zooming in, focusing on cosmic insights just for you, if you happen to have a very specific celestial blueprint for 2025.
Right. We're working with key ideas from a source called Celestial Odyssey, Cancer Sun, Virgo Rising in 2025.
Think of it like a really personalized star map for this particular energy combo for the year ahead.
Exactly. And the source outlines these two really potent core archetypes that merge here.
Right.
First up is the Moonlit Nurturer. That's the Cancer Sun essence.
Ah, yes. All about that deep feeling, intuition, protective love, that kind of watery, empathetic core. Your emotional center, really.
Totally. Your inner ocean. And then paired with that, you have the Cosmic Weaver. That's the Virgo Rising influence.
Which is more about how you show up in the world, right? Your presence. It's that meticulous, practical, order from chaos energy. Service, grounded wisdom.
Spot on. It's how you structure things, how you make things tangible. And when you blend these two, the feeling Cancer and the practical Virgo, the source calls the combined archetype the Tidepool Alchemist.
Ooh, I like that. Tidepool Alchemist.
Yeah. It suggests someone who naturally takes those deep, churning emotional waters of Cancer.
Personal feelings.
Exactly. And transforms them using that discerning, practical Virgo touch into something, well, beautiful, healing, and actually useful, turning feeling into form.
Emotion into embodied action, maybe?
Precisely. Taking that raw material and weaving it into something tangible, something that serves. And 2025, according to this source, is a year that really lights up that dynamic.
That interplay between the water and the earth within you.
Right. Sometimes it's a dance. Sometimes it feels more like tension. But these parts of you are definitely in conversation. So let's look at the big cosmic players making this happen.
Okay, who's up first?
We start with Jupiter, planet of expansion. Now, it's in Gemini for the first part of 2025, but the key date here is May 25th, when it moves into Cancer.
Okay.
But for this specific archetype, the source points to Jupiter's time before that, moving through your 12th house while it's still in Gemini.
The 12th house. Okay, that's the subconscious stuff, right? Dreams, hidden things, the collective unconscious.
Exactly right. And Jupiter there, it's expanding your access to all of that. Your intuitive antenna just gets bigger, wider bandwidth.
Some more gut feelings, maybe? Synchronicities.
Definitely more synchronicity. The source talks about pulling wisdom from these hidden realms, seemingly out of nowhere, right into your conscious awareness, like the universe is leaving you breadcrumbs.
So life might feel a bit more connected, maybe even magical.
Yes, that's a good way to put it. Your intuition really becomes a key guide. The source even mentions you might feel this physically, like a subtle buzzing behind the eyes or a slight pressure at the temples.
Wow, like your intuition is literally knocking.
Kind of. So making space for quiet, for reflection, listening to those nudges that become super important.
The source actually gives a journal prompt for this, doesn't it? Something like,
Yeah, it's what whispers from the hidden depths am I ready to hear? What synchronicity is trying to entangle itself with my path? It's really an invitation to tune in.
okay, so that's Jupiter setting a kind of intuitive stage early on. Who's next?
Next, we have Saturn, the planet of structure, lessons, karma.
Okay, the taskmaster.
Yeah, sometimes feels that way. In 2025, Saturn is in Pisces, and for you, this lands in your 8th house.
Oof, 8th house. That's deep territory, shared resources, intimacy, transformation, fears.
All of it. Seriously deep. And Saturn there, the source says it's applying karmic gravity. It's challenging those old emotional security blankets.
Especially the ones tied to money or vulnerability in relationships.
Exactly. Where does the Moonlit Nurturer part of you cling out of fear? Saturn wants you to look squarely at that. Where have fears created, patterns or blocks, especially around trust or shared power?
So it's about getting really honest and grounded in those sensitive spots.
Totally. The insight here is that facing those deep fears, financial, emotional, relational, is actually the direct path to real personal power and deeper connection. Building solid ground through the transformation, not by avoiding it.
That makes sense. Is there a practical way to work with that? It sounds intense.
Yeah, the source suggests a somatic anchor. Notice where you feel tension when worry about money or intimacy comes up. Often it's the lower belly, the sacral area.
Right.
So when you feel that, the suggestion is place a warm hand there, breathe into it, and affirm, I am safe in the process of release. It's a way to physically acknowledge and release the fear, grounding the Cancer feeling with Virgo awareness.
Connecting mind and body, I like that. Okay, who else is shaping the year?
Then there's Neptune,
Mm.
planet of dreams, illusions, spirituality, but also confusion sometimes.
Okay, and where is Neptune?
It's moving into Aries, and for you, that impacts your 7th house.
Relationships, one-on-one partnerships.
Bingo. So Neptune, in the relationship house, can feel a bit dreamy, maybe idealistic, but then you add the Aries fire.
Yeah, Aries is direct, impulsive. That sounds like an odd mix. Maybe confusing.
It definitely can be.
Yeah.
The source talks about it infusing connections with, like, quantum fluidity, lots of inspiration, maybe spiritual connection, but also potentially blurry boundaries. Things can feel porous.
Ah, so the challenge is staying clear.
Exactly. Especially for the cosmic weaver part of you that craves clarity and order, you need to discern, where do I apply those clear threads of boundaries and assertion that Aries fire channeled constructively within this Neptunian flow?
So it's about defining yourself clearly within your partnerships, not getting lost.
That's the core task.
Yeah.
Using your Virgo discernment to navigate the Aries push and the Neptune mist.
Is there an exercise for that?
Yes, an embodiment practice. Before important interactions, stand firm. Feel your feet on the ground. That's the Virgo earth. Hands on hips, Aries assertion. And declare, maybe just internally, my boundaries are clear, my discernment is sharp, I weave only what serves mutual respect.
And breathe with it.
3 deep breaths. It's about embodying that clarity before you engage, bringing the inner state outward.
Okay, so we've got Jupiter expanding intuition, Saturn deepening transformation in sensitive areas, Neptune bringing dynamic fuzziness to relationships. What else?
Well, you can't talk about 2025 without talking about the eclipses. Big accelerators of change.
Ah, the cosmic wild cards.
Totally. And in 2025, they're hitting the Aries-Libra axis. Dates are March 29th, September 17th, and October 2nd. For your specific archetype,
Cancer Sun, Virgo Rising.
this directly lights up your axis of self and other. Your 1st house, defined by Virgo rising your identity, how you present, and your 7th house of partnership, ruled by the Aries-Libra dynamic.
So directly hitting me versus we, my identity and my key relationships.
Couldn't say it better. The source calls these eclipses triggers for quantum leaps in how you see yourself and how your partnerships function. Expect sudden clarity, or maybe necessary endings, things shifting fast.
Wow, so it really doubles down on that relationship and identity theme.
It absolutely does. Eclipses demand courage and that Virgo precision to make the needed adjustments. And the source offers a ritual for the Libra eclipse on October 2nd.
Oh, cool. What is it?
It's called the Balance Bowl ritual. You take 2 stones, roughly equal size, one for self, one for other, or a specific relationship. Put them in a bowl of salt water that connects to the Cancer purification vibe.
Okay.
Then you meditate on finding balance, equilibrium, mutual respect between your needs and theirs. After 24 hours, you pour the water onto the earth, releasing any imbalance you felt or identified.
That's really tangible, bringing that abstract eclipse energy down to earth, which feels very Virgo rising.
Exactly, making it practical. And, this whole theme, balancing deep feeling with practical form, navigating self and other, it connects to a historical legacy the source mentions.
Oh, tell me more.
It talks about weaver nurturers, figures who embody this Cancer sun, Virgo rising energy.
Like who?
Well, Harriet Beecher Stowe is highlighted. Cancer sun, very likely Virgo rising. Think about it. She had this profound Cancerian empathy and outrage about injustice.
Absolutely.
But she channeled it through meticulous research, detailed writing, incredibly structured arguments in Uncle Tom's Cabin. That's the Virgo weaver, making the Cancerian feeling have maximum practical impact.
Wow, I never thought of her chart that way, but that makes so much sense. Deep feeling, practical execution.
Right. And Princess Diana, another Cancer sun, Virgo rising. Again, that huge public empathy, the nurturing quality, classic Cancer, but channeled through hands-on service, visiting hospitals, landmine campaigns, very Virgoan, practical acts of service, and often with careful attention to detail and image.
Bringing that compassion into the real world tangibly.
Exactly. So the message for you carrying this archetype is that your deep care needs that practical Virgo form to really land and make a difference. And your Virgo precision finds its soul, its purpose, through that Cancerian compassion. Your 2025 journey is part of this lineage.
That's really powerful context. Does the source connect it to more modern culture too?
It does, yeah. Give some cultural touchstones like Celia Bowen in The Night Circus,
Yeah.
deeply Cancerian magic and enchantment.
Yeah.
Yes, creating those feelings.
But she builds these tangible, intricate, detailed wonders. That's the Virgo craftsmanship giving form to the magic.
turning the ethereal real.
Or Think about applying Marie Kondo's Virgo tidiness principles to Liz Gilbert's Cancerian emotional journey in Eat, Pray, Love, bringing practical structure to the inner landscape.
That's a great image. And music.
Nora Jones is the suggestion. That soothing, deep, Cancerian emotional quality. But the music itself is always so impeccably arranged, precisely performed. Virgo structure, holding the Cancerian feeling.
Totally hear that. Felt and crafted. Okay, so this really helps visualize the energy. What about looking forward? Does the source map out possibilities for 2025?
It does. It presents 3 potential timelines. Not rigid destinies, mind you, but like major currents or paths you might find yourself drawn to based on how you engage with the planets.
Okay, 3 paths. What's the first one?
The first is called the Hearth and the Harvest.
Sounds cozy, abundant.
It really is. This path gets activated if you lean into that Jupiter and Cancer energy after my 25th, focusing your cosmic weaver skills on home, family, emotional security, building your nest.
So for the Tidepool Alchemist, this could look like
Maybe nurturing a home-based business, doing deep healing work with family, really creating sanctuary in your space, finding emotional abundance through tangible care gardening, cooking, making things beautiful and safe, giving that Cancer nurture a Virgo form.
How do you embody that?
The source suggests deep nurturing breaths into the belly, that's the Cancer core, while your hands are busy with precise, loving tasks. Grounded action, centered feeling.
Is there a challenge here?
Yeah, the potential to get overwhelmed by overgiving. Using that Virgo discernment to know your limits and nurture yourself too is key.
Right. Okay, path number 2.
This one's called the Alchemist's Crucible.
Okay, crucible, intense transformation, heat and pressure.
You got it.
Wow.
This path lights up if you really lean into facing those Saturn in Pisces 8th house challenges head on. Shared resources, intimacy wounds, power dynamics, deep psychological stuff.
So the Moonlit nurturer learns resilience, and the Cosmic Weaver analyzes the fears.
Exactly. Auditing the fear with that clear Virgo eye. Manifestations could be things like finally sorting out debt, major breakthroughs in therapy, setting really clear boundaries around shared energy or money, maybe even channeling your empathy into professional healing work, using both your depth and your analytical skill.
Is there a ritual for this intense path?
Yep. A waning moon ritual for releasing burdens. Write down the 8th house, fears debt, intimacy blocks, control issues. Burn the paper safely, let the fire transform, then scatter the ashes, maybe in moving water, symbolizing release.
And the challenge here is
Navigating the intensity, the fear, without shutting down your Cancerian vulnerability. Trusting the process, even when Saturn makes it feel heavy. Knowing the depth work is necessary alchemy.
it takes courage. Okay, the third timeline.
The third is the weave of authentic alliance.
Connecting back to Neptune in Aries in the 7th, relationships.
Precisely. This path is about actively working with that energy, prioritizing clear, empowered relating, dissolving illusions in partnership, really defining yourself within the we.
So building relationships on truth and respect, not just misty ideals.
That's the heart of it. What could this look like? Maybe dynamic collaborations sparked by that Neptunary's inspiration, but grounded in Virgo discernment, attracting partners who genuinely respect your need for both depth and clarity, learning to state your needs directly, Aries style, but with Cancerian compassion.
Weaving better connections. Is there a prompt for this one?
There is. What masculine relationship am I ready to dissolve? What kind of partnership truly nourishes my soul and respects my boundaries? Getting really honest about how you relate.
And the challenge on this path.
It's that balancing act again. Holding on to your Cancerian empathy and desire to nurture while asserting your individual needs and boundaries. Clearly the Aries Virgo side. Avoiding, martyrdom or getting lost in the other person. Finding that authentic blend.
So 3 distinct focuses: hearth, crucible, or alliance. But they feel connected too.
They absolutely are. It's all about where the Tidepool Alchemist chooses to direct their energy, working consciously with the year's transits. You get to choose where you focus your alchemy.
It really empowers you, doesn't it? Puts the choice in your hand.
It does. And the source wraps it up with a mantra for 2025, perfectly capturing this archetype's work. I feel the tides deeply, and with steady hands, I weave their wisdom into sacred, useful form.
Sacred, useful form. Wow. That really nails it, taking that profound, sometimes overwhelming inner world and making something tangible, practical, beautiful out of it.
It really does. That mantra is the core invitation for you this year. Embrace the duality. Feel deeply. Let the Moonlit nurturer feel, but don't drown. And let the Cosmic Weaver organize and structure, but don't stifle the flow.
Build bridges between the heart's ocean and the world's fertile soil.
Beautifully put. 2025 is your year to really integrate these parts and leave your unique mark, a legacy of beautifully embodied, meticulous care.
A quiet, loving revolution indeed.
Weave on as our cosmic journey concludes.
Dive deeper into your unique path.
Request your email audio reading now.
Find the link in the description below.
Explore episode resources and links. All details are waiting for you there.
Ignite. Think. Become. Ooh, subscribe for Starload Insights. Thank you for joining us.